is the most sus? Welcome back, my fellow gamers. This is Top 10 Gaming. I'm your host Amanda McKnight, and today we are going to be talking about just who among us is the imposter. Is it you? As both betrayer mechanic video games and board games continue to take the world by storm, we thought you might want to know where else you could turn to find that familiar rush of traitor adrenaline when your favorite imposter game just isn't cutting it anymore. When you have tried and mastered all of the highest IQ plays. Today we'll be counting down the top 10 imposter games, or traitor mechanic games if you rather. If you love games like this and need to master them, click on over here to check out a video that will help you to discover some new high IQ plays. Alright, now let's get counting. Number 10, TTT. TTT is also known as Trouble in Terrorist Town, which is a game mode available through Gary's Mod. In this game, you play as a group of heavily armed people. You have no real objective except to suss out who among you are the traitors. Keep an eye out for suspicious behavior, but keep in mind that you are all armed and any of you could be responsible for the deaths of party members. Those who are traitors aim to eliminate the team and avoid suspicion in order to win. It's a very simple boiled down version of that traitor mechanic that we all have come to know and love through other games. But sometimes simple is exactly what you want in your already complex social deduction gaming experience. Number 9, Push the Button. Push the Button is a mini game that is included in the Jackbox Party Pack number 6. In this mini game, you play as a crew where an alien has infiltrated your ship. You are asked to complete a series of tests to prove that you are human. Humans all receive the same prompt for that task, but aliens receive something a little different. Knowing this, they must try to argue the choices they made for their drawings or answers in comparison to everyone else, and keep them as in line as possible with others without having that information. If you feel like you know who the alien is, you can call a vote. Unanimous decisions will result in the accused being put into the airlock and the button being pushed. Pushing the button will send that person out into the vacuum of space, and it will be revealed if they were the alien masquerading as a human or a true human member of the crew. Oops. Number 8, A Fake Artist Goes to New York. This tabletop party/betrayer game is from one of my all-time favorite board game publishers, Oink Games out of Japan. It sort of takes an element of Push the Button, one of the tasks there, and expands upon it. This game is all about art, but not super accurate art or even really particularly good art. All of you are artists in New York City, but one of you is actually an imposter, a fake artist, trying to basically fake your way to artist stardom. We are all working on a collaborative art project, but one of us has no idea what we're all meant to be drawing. The fake artist. One person sits out of this game as well as a mastermind, deciding what the artist will draw and assigning them small whiteboards with the subject written on it. Except that one artist will actually receive a whiteboard with nothing on it but an X, indicating they are the fake artist. The short game takes place over 2 rounds, with each person adding a new line to the cooperative drawing. That line can be as short or long and elaborate as you want. Each player has their own color marker so we know who drew what. At the end of the game, after 2 rounds of each player adding a line, we discuss who we think the fake artist is, and each of us j'accuse. If we vote correctly to find the fake artist, the players win. If not, the mastermind and the fake artist win together. But if the fake artist is even found, if we do vote correctly, before that victory is locked in, they actually have a chance to guess what the subject matter of the drawing is, potentially stealing the victory from the rest of the true artists if they're correct. Number 7, Bang. There are a few different versions of Bang as a tabletop game. One is a card game and one is a dice game. I personally prefer the dice game, but both are awesome. In this game, each player takes on secret roles, each with their own unique goals as well. There are different identities you can play, which also give you special abilities unique to you. And in the card game, there are various different weapons you can equip to your character, which change your stats. The game is set in the Wild West, and the only one whose role is not a secret is the sheriff. Because you know, when you're the sheriff, you got a big hat and you got a big badge. All outlaws are out to take down the sheriff. There are a few outlaws, but none of them actually know who the others are. There is also a deputy who can't reveal their identity either, but whose goal is to help the sheriff win by eliminating all the outlaws and the renegade. The renegade is a lone wolf whose goal is to eliminate everyone except the sheriff and then take his or her place by winning in a shootout with them. The game is either played by playing cards each round to do certain things or alter certain stats, or by rolling dice and assigning different dice to complete different tasks, depending on which version of this game you're playing. Dice or cards, what do you like? Number 6, Secret Neighbor. Secret Neighbor is the strange sequel to Hello Neighbor, but instead of it being a solo experience, this game pits player versus player in a multiplayer horror experience. You play as a team of kids aiming to rescue one of your friends who has become trapped in a creepy neighbor's basement. The problem? One of you is secretly the creepy evil neighbor in disguise, who is trying to eliminate and sabotage your team's attempt at rescuing your friend. Yikes. Not only is this a fun social deduction game, but there is also that creepy horror element as well that fans of Hello Neighbor are already familiar with. Number 5. Escape from the Aliens in Outer Space. This is a hidden movement tabletop game where one player is an alien attempting to sneak up on and eliminate other players who seek to escape from them. There are various different layouts you can find, and the players do not know to start who the alien among them is. Each player keeps their movements a secret, recording them on their own player sheet as they go, but sometimes they'll have to reveal where they are depending on where they move to and how loud that area that they are in is. You must use this information to deduce who among you might be an alien, and obviously try to avoid them. Number 4. Project Winter. This is an indie game where you and your friends must work together to survive out in the wilderness in a winter tundra, aiming to escape the frozen wastelands. However, 2 of your group of 8 are secretly betrayers, tasked with making sure no one gets out of here alive. You'll need to work together but trust no one in order to make sure you and your teammates make it out of here alive and aren't all eliminated by the traitors. But even if you're a traitor, you'll need to be careful and watch out, lest the survivors figure out what you're really up to and kill you before you can kill them. Number 3. Secret Hitler. This board game is actually really smartly designed for something that sounds so shocking and controversial. In reality, what you are doing is getting a sense for how something as insane as what happened during World War II in politics in Germany happened, with Hitler rising to power and in effect creating a system and policies that allowed something as horrible as the Holocaust to happen. It's a weirdly fun game, but it's also brilliant too, and I think handles the sensitivity of the political elements and events surprisingly well. In the game, there are 2 parties, the liberals and the fascists. At the beginning of the game, you'll get a party card that tells you the political party you are part of and loyal to. You'll also get a role card. Most people will just be regular party members, but one fascist party member will be Hitler. The game is won by either team when 6 policies from their party are passed. The fascists can also win if Hitler is elected chancellor, and the liberals can also win by assassinating Hitler. Of course, you have to find him first. Each round, the president, a role which moves around the table at the start of each round, will select a chancellor. Chancellors, however, will have to be elected by a majority vote of the entire table. The chancellor will help the president to enact a policy, which is another reason why it's important to be very wary of who is elected into this role each round, because obviously chancellors are going to be loyal to their own parties, especially if that chancellor is Hitler. That's not so good. Number 2. Mansions of Madness. Many of you tabletop gamers might be wondering where Betrayal at House on the Hill is on this list. Has Amanda played it, you might be asking yourself? And yes, I have. Played hundreds of board games. I've definitely played Betrayal. I've played both regular Betrayal and the Legacy version. However, I did not include it simply because it is too similar to this title that I want to talk about, which in my opinion is a much more enjoyable gaming experience with a very similar vibe and feel. In Mansions of Madness, you play with an app that assists you through what we refer to in Betrayal as your haunt. In the case of Mansions though, these are different mystery scenarios. Throughout, one or multiple of your party may become traitors, or behave traitorously if they become confused via being overwhelmed by horror through taking too much psychological or mental damage. It provides a simple yet compelling gaming experience where each player takes on a unique character with their own unique skills, and attempts to band together to solve the mystery and save the world before time runs out. Number 1. Among Us. Obviously, Among Us is reigning supreme right now, despite the fact that this game has actually been around for a few years and is not actually new. It feels very new right now, as it was mostly little known and loved until recently. If you haven't played yet, this is a really interesting traitor game. In the game, you must complete tasks on a ship to ensure your team completes your mission. However, one of you is an imposter, whose goal is actually to eliminate all of the crew before they can complete their tasks and presumably get home safely. After they complete their mission, I guess. The imposter wins if they eliminate all players save one, or if they successfully make the other players eliminate everybody else by making them suspicious, or if they make all the other players use up all their emergency meeting votes. Each player in the game gets one opportunity to call an emergency meeting, but one will also be automatically called if a body is found and reported. Voting follows the policy of majority rules, and whoever garners the most votes gets ejected out of the airlock, and we learn of that player's true allegiance. Players, however, can also vote majority to skip voting when applicable, and there are also tons of intricacies to explore in the games when it comes to task knowledge and the multiple ship layouts and maps. Lots of layers. I like layers in my games. Thank you so much for watching. What are some of your favorite imposter games that you have played? What is your favorite strategy to use to find out who the betrayer is, or to make sure you as an imposter win? Do you prefer tabletop traitor games or video games where there is an imposter? Let us know in the comments below. This has been Top 10 Gaming, and I'm your host Amanda McKnight, reminding you to keep on gaming on. Pew pew!